Hi everyone and welcome to the Learning Ladder. Today I'm going to be sharing with you our fairy tale theme unit study. So I'm going to be showing you the resources we're using, different activities and also my plans. So we'll start off with books first. Okay, so we'll come to the morning basket in a second, but first I'm just going to show you the additional books as well that I'm going to be using, and then we'll pop on over to the morning basket. Okay, with these, what I'll do each week is put a selection of them into the morning basket, and then some of them are for her to read as well for reading time, for independent reading time, and also reading with me. So the first one we have is the Robert Sabuda, The Little Mermaid pop-up book. I absolutely adore these Robert Sabuda pop-up books. They're just breathtaking. I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful. You can't... I'll need to open the book properly, otherwise I'm going to rip it. There we go. You just can't beat them. And we have two. We have the Little Mermaid and Alice in Wonderland. I definitely would love to invest in a few more of these. They are pricey, but definitely worth it. As a special book that you bring out, they are absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I bought my Ladybird Tales collection a few years ago, probably I want to say about 5 years ago, as a job lot from the Book People. I don't know if they still do it, but it was really a really great price, as all books are with the Book People. And the set included the Big Pancake, Cinderella, Dick Whittington, Little Red Hen, Rapunzel, the Three Billy Goats Gruff, the Princess and the Frog, Rumpelstiltskin, the Three Little Pigs, the Magic Porridge Pot, Hansel and Gretel, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty, the Gingerbread Man, Puss in Boots, Beauty and the Beast, Chicken Licken, the Elves and the Shoemaker, the Ugly Duckling, and then there's a couple more in the morning basket. But what I really like about this particular version, beautiful illustrations, obviously. It's a Ladybird book, you know they're going to be. But at the end of each story, it gives you a little brief history as to where the tale came from, where it originated from. So it's always interesting to know. So I'll show you the other couple that are in the morning basket from the Ladybird collection in a moment. And then I've just got a bunch of Ladybird readers. So we've got the Pied Piper of Hamelin. This is illustration wise how they look. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Wizard of Oz, the Elves and the Shoemaker, Rapunzel, Jack and the Beanstalk, the Three Billy Goats Gruff, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, the Enormous Turnip, the Magic Porridge Pot, the Ugly Duckling, Little Red Hen, Cinderella, the Princess and the Pea, Sly Fox and Red Hen, Three Little Pigs, the Gingerbread Man, Rumpelstiltskin, Little Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast. And although they are Ladybird, they are a different version of the story. Okay. So moving on, we have the Usborne Activities 365 Things to Make and Do. There are a couple of projects in here. So there's this one, Drawing Castles. And I like how they've got different versions of it, because one of the things we're going to be really focusing on in our unit study is all about setting. So obviously you've got your princess castle and you've got your spooky castle. Not just setting, character and plot as well, but setting is part of it. And there is also a fairyland painting activity in there as well. Before we move on to the morning basket, I just wanted to show you some of the games. So we've got the Telltale fairy tale version. You've got the dice in there, lovely wooden dice. You get 24 pieces, so different characters, and then you get 2 backgrounds as well. We love this, definitely recommend it. I've got a bunch of these dice inserts with different themes. I adore them. This one is a fairy tale one, and this one is from The Measured Mom. So basically we just roll and then do the activity. They're great to use in maths as well. So you do a sum, roll your dice, make it fun. So I've just put them all into these were from Carson DeLosa little dice. If you saw my STEM setup that I filmed a few months back, you would have seen these fairy tale themed STEM cards, so she can take some of our STEM boxes out and go through those. Lots of different options in there. And if you want to know where this came from, it was a free printable, and it's on my STEM Pinterest board. So if you click on my Pinterest link, which is down below, then you can go to my STEM board and you'll be able to find those for free are these little printable cards. Another game we have is this Disney Princess storytelling game. So it comes with some paperback, but a few of them are hardback as well. Different princess books. So there is Tangled, Beauty and the Beast, Ariel, Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella. And then it comes with these story dice and then these little cards as well that you can use for character and scenes. And then it's got the ones that you can actually stand up as well. So it's a really fun game. Definitely recommend this one. Okay, in here we have the On the Fly Fairy Tale Storytelling Game. This is from This Reading Mama. Again, a free printable off her website. Okay, so this is like 3 games in one pretty much, because you've got the printables where you're talking about character setting, features, problem and solution, so you can go over that with them. It also comes with a blank one for them to write their own ideas on. And then it comes with the game, so it's the On the Fly Fairy Tale Storytelling Game. There are a couple of different ways that you can actually play, and then each section has different themes, so setting, other features, bad characters, and where's good characters wandered off to? There it is, good characters. So there's a big list of them out there behind the elastic, so they can just go through them all and choose who is going to appear in their story. I also have some additional STEM activities in here. So we have the gingerbread man trap, which you can build. We have the gingerbread man boat. We have Jack and the parachute. As I said, these are all on my STEM board if you want any of these. Sleeping Beauty, Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, and a Rapunzel. If you watched my first grade curriculum haul, you'll have seen this write and illustrate your own book with the Pictory personal book kit. So basically your child writes and illustrates their story, then you send it off to them and they'll send it back to you in a bound book. So this is a project that's part of my plans, which I'll show you in a moment. She'll be writing her own fairy tale and we'll be sending it off to get it bound. Okay, moving on to morning basket, and then I'll go to my plans. So as you can see, we've got a little assortment here of friends with us. So there are Goldilocks and the 3 Bears and Little Red Riding Hood puppets. Well, not really puppets, but little figures that you can use for role play. And now we'll go into the basket. Okay, so let's start pulling everything out. Actually, I'm going to do that first. Okay, so first we have the classic tales, again from Ladybird. I love these. I remember them from when I was little. So this is the Little Red Hen. Again, beautiful illustrations. Gorgeous. I just love this classic series. So that's the Little Red Hen. There's also Puss in Boots, Jack and the Beanstalk, the 3 Little Pigs, the Gingerbread Boy, and the Elves and the Shoemaker. The rest of the Ladybird tales from the collection I showed you earlier, there's Little Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, the Enormous Turnip, Jack and the Beanstalk, and the Princess and the Pea. I also have another couple of different versions. So this one is a Reading with Phonics, Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. And then this is a Touch and Feel Goldilocks and the 3 Bears version. And I've also got another one, Goldilocks and 3 Bears with pictures. In terms of when oh, goodness me, let's start again. Okay, my brain's working again. So in the story there are little pictures for different words. So it's an illustrated version, but it's really fun. And that isn't in the basket, but it's on the shelf, which will be going in at some point during the theme unit study month. It's late, that's why I sound garbled. Okay, we have got the life cycle of a bean. I'm going to do this and go to bed. So this is another activity that we'll be doing as part of my unit study plan. Which I'll go over, as I said, in a minute. Disney's How to Be a Princess. A fun little reader. Gives you each of the princesses in here, and then some of their character traits. We have the Princess Pink and the Land of Fake Believe. This is the 3 Little Pugs. If you watched my Christmas videos, you'll know my daughter absolutely adores pugs. So I had to get this one for her, and it's a scholastic version. Okay, my first computer coding book, we're using Scratch Junior. We always keep this in our basket. My daughter can do all this by herself. She absolutely adores Scratch Junior. She comes up with some amazing things as well on there. Not just what's in the book, but things that she comes up with herself. So definitely recommend Scratch Junior. Okay, now I have a bunch of these little phonic readers. They have little activities in and stickers as well. So this one is Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So as you can see, they read the story and then there's activities on the side. Also comes with stickers. And then Little Red Riding Hood. Just a fun thing to put in the morning basket. Jack and the Beanstalk, the Magic Porridge Pot, and the Ugly Duckling. I've got the Disney Princess 1001 sticker book in here. Lots of different activities in that one. The Osborne Sticker Dolly Dressing Fairies. Yes, I do have my pyjamas on. As I said, it's night time. Lots of different activities in this one. I think you can reuse them as well. I think. Well, they're usually very good quality. So you can stick and peel over and over again. Lots of different settings and scenes in there for them to do. And then we've got the My Enchanted Activity and Sticker Book from Bloomsbury. Tons of things in this one. Stickers as well. A fun one for my daughter. She really likes this series. So this is Camilla and the Cupcake Fairy. We have the Magic Porridge Pot. And then finally our usuals that we have in here. Excuse the bits at the bottom. We've got the Spectrum Telling Time, the Higher Order Thinking Evermore, the Smart Start STEM. We have our sight words, our scrunch map. This is Winnie the Pooh, Now We Are Six. And then we have our famous paintings. Okay, now here are my plans. This is just the abbreviated version I do have, or abridged version I should say. Oh, it's abbreviated and abridged. I do have my planner with my in-depth plans, but obviously these small boxes can't fit too much. So it's just a taster of what we're doing. So for the 4th, when we start, we are reading The Enormous Turnip, discussing character, setting and plot of fairy tales using where it's got P. That means there's some kind of activity or principle, and then we're playing the fairy tale game. Then on Tuesday we are doing another version of The Enormous Turnip, because if you notice there were some different versions of the same book. That was I did that purposely. Because we are comparing and contrasting. Okay, then we are sequencing events, repeated phrases and past tense. We're also retelling using props. So we're doing a turnip sensory box. So we'll get the turnip out and then we'll have little toy figures pretending to pull the turnip out of the ground. Then on Wednesday it's fiction and non-fiction. We are looking at a recipe for turnip soup, and then we are going to illustrate a recipe. Then we are reading The Gingerbread Man. We're comparing stories from The Enormous Turnip and Gingerbread Man, looking for the similarities and differences. So a lot of that is repeated phrases throughout the story. Then we are making Gingerbread Man, and I'm taking sequence photos, which we'll be using in an activity. Then on the Friday, I have the Castle Art Project from Osborne, and then STEM Project. Where I've got STEM Project, she can choose from those well, she can either do the STEM boxes, cards, or she can choose one of the STEM projects that I put, that I showed you before. Okay, now we're using our sequence photos to write how I made my gingerbread man. So if you can understand the reasoning why we're doing that. So we're talking about writing stories, so structuring stories, so sequencing pictures, makes sense. Okay, now we're reading Cinderella, discussing elements of the story, things like magical powers, the stepmother and things, not the stepmother, the fairy godmother. Then we are writing beginning, middle and ending sentences, and we're talking about Once Upon a Time and Happily Ever After. We are writing a character list of who appears in Cinderella, and we are doing a role play scene from the story. She can choose whichever scene she wants to do. We're discussing diaries, and we are going to write a diary page for one of the Ugly Sisters. We are reading the Ugly Sisters letter and discussing motivation. So it's an actual letter principle that I have of what the Ugly Sisters wrote to Cinderella. We're going to read that, and then we're going to respond back as though we are Cinderella. So again, STEM project, there's 2 of them on that day. Then we have a newspaper principle, which explains to her what you need to include in an article, and then she's going to write her own article on the royal wedding. So I'm going to get some wedding magazines and things so she can cut dresses out and cakes and flowers and everything else and make her own little article as though she was, as though she was reporting an actual royal wedding. So that'd be really fun. Okay, then we are doing some poem reviews, and we are doing some musical instruments along with the poems. Okay, next we are going to be reading the Princess and the Pea story. We're going to do a little Princess and the Pea sensory box, and then she's going to do a review on one of the fairy tales that we've read so far out of our basket, which one she really liked or didn't like. Then we are going to be moving on to Jack and the Beanstalk. We'll be discussing characters and behaviours. We're going to be looking at bean seed and planting our bean seed, and then writing a how-to, how we planted it. Then Fairy Art Project from Osborne and another STEM project. Back down here we are reading all about the life cycle of a bean. That was the book I showed you in the basket earlier. We are actually going to make our own little bean life cycle book, and then she's also going to be recording the progress of her bean over the next few weeks as it grows. Then next day we are doing a roleplay scene from Jack and the Beanstalk. She can choose whichever she wants to do. We have a poetry printable I have. We're going to be discussing non-fiction, and we're going to do a herb sensory box. So with non-fiction we're going to be talking about how the pictures show the item or whatever it is, but you can't touch it or smell it or anything like that, so that's why there is a herb sensory box. Then we are going to do our write your own fairy tale story. Well, that's when the project starts. It's probably going to take at least a week, I think, maybe longer, to do her own little fairy tale, which we'll then send off to be bound. And then we have some more STEM projects, another STEM project, and on the next page, which goes into March, I have a little few nursery rhyme activities. So we're going to be looking at rhyming and also sequencing the Little Red Hen book as well. So that is everything for our fairy tale theme. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in our next video.